Sometimes life lets you down and you feel that you are done. You just wanna mourn and run because the fun is all gone. But sometimes life makes you proud when you look far and wide, when you leave the pain behind and see the brighter side. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new you. Sometimes life makes you blind and you choose something bad. You just wanna cry and hide and save your face from the crowd. But sometimes life makes you see the beauty in you and me. When you look up above, there is God and there is love. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new. We're here to help you see the newness of life. We're here to help you feel your hope is so real. You got the power to see. We'll help you see the new you. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new you.
The new channel. The new channel. The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following show are those of the hosts, producers, guests, and viewers. They do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to the new channel. We're here to help you see the new you. My name is Mras, and welcome to Mental Shift. Well, hello there to the United States. Good evening. And to the Philippines, magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 29. Tonight, my guest, she is a National Speakers Association certified international motivational virtual and live speaker. She's also a TEDx Breckenridge speaker for this October 2021. She's an accomplished author of the Soaring into Greatness a blind woman's vision to live her dreams and fly, and a powerful trained opera singer who is totally blind. Many people allow their fears, negativities, and self-blinding beliefs to stop them from experiencing life to the fullest. That's not the case with my guest. She motivates, facilitates, educates, and exhilarates her audiences unlike any other speaker. And she to help fully open their eyes and change the way they see and change the way they live. Please welcome my friend, my inspiration, Miss Gail Hamilton. Hello.
Hello, Michelle. Thank you for having me.
Now, you have something that is missing out of your bio.
Uh-oh.
You were crowned Miss Colorado.
That might be in the next paragraph.
Okay.
But yes, I was crowned Miss Colorado, Senior America, and 4th in the country.
Awesome. No, and the reason I was saying that is your book, I got your book last year, wasn't it? Last year when I first met you. And you have President Jimmy Carter's on the front of her book, and it says, a beautiful story of someone who has overcome a physical handicap and changed it into a force that is an inspiration to many people. Very true. Because you don't focus on the negative, you focus on the positive and the good things and where you can move towards it. Now, I want to go back into your story, back to your childhood. Were you born blind, or did you gradually lose your sight?
The answer to that is yes to both. So, there you have it.
Thank you. Good night.
Yeah, there you go. Bye-bye. So I'm a twin, and we were born 2.5 months premature. I weighed 2 pounds. He weighed 2.5.
Wow.
And they put us in separate incubators for 6 weeks. Didn't affect him, but they put 100% pure oxygen in the incubator for 6 weeks, for 24 hours a day. So what that did to me was it disaligned or affected the optic nerve in my eye. So I was born sighted. They put me in the incubator. Then I became partially sighted. And then when I was 11, part of the progression of the disease, I got cataracts on my eyes. So then I became totally blind at 11.
Okay. So you had shadow sight for a little bit then.
A little bit more in shadow sight. I could see, I could ride a bike, I could watch TV, I could read large print, I could draw. I love to draw. So I could sort of get around with my limited vision. It's probably not as good as somebody had 20/20, but for me, it was what I knew and what I had. So it was my whole world.
So that's what you did.
That's what I did.
Yeah. You're such a trooper. And I can't wait for people to learn more about you, because here's the thing about Gail. She is the most positive human I've ever met. She makes me look not positive. It's just that the way you see things and the way you shift the way you think about things. And your childhood, I would think, were you put in special schools? Because I know when I was younger, they always separated everybody. Were you
Yeah, I went to public kindergarten with my twin, actually. And, we used to get in so much trouble together. Oh my goodness. But that's another story. But then after that, they decided that it'd probably be better for me to, and of course, parents don't tell me anything, so who knows what the story is. But I went to a school for the blind, and then he went off to public school. And then because Braille's kind of complicated, I ended up taking first grade twice, and then he was always a year ahead of me in school than me, which he held over my head. Thank you very much.
Can he read Braille?
Oh, no. Nobody in my family could.
Well, then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up with them?
Checkmate.
That's right. Something I can do, they can't.
Yeah. So when you went through Okay, we're going to fast forward it a little bit. You had some trials, because in your book, you talk about many major trials in your lifetime, and then you get older. Now, where do you want to start? In your youth, or do you want to start in your mid-teens? I mean, where do you want to go, Gail? Because we can go really deep. We've gone really deep before.
I love deep.
Okay.
Yeah. As a kid, okay, as a blind kid, because who knows, my brothers and sisters, they discounted me. My mother drank, my father drank, but my mom did more than my dad. I always felt different. I always felt devalued. I always felt unloved. I always felt like whatever I said or did wasn't believed by them. And I had that belief for probably 50, 55 years of my life, that any sighted person was always more valuable, more believable than me. And so I grew up unhappy, pretty depressed, especially high school. But as a junior high and younger kid, I don't know. I knew there was abuse, but I don't know if I knew it was abuse then. I knew I was unhappy. I knew what I saw. I knew what I felt. And it was body memories mainly, but I had some visual memories, a lot of trauma around being a premature birth and seeing lights and faces like in the hospital on a pure cellular body level.
Wow.
And then, of course, my family would say I was out of my mind, but that's all right. And then my father, I can remember seeing him without any clothes on. I remember playing patty cake with him on his back, and he didn't have any clothes underneath. And I knew what was underneath the covers.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'd know that if I didn't have sight, and I don't think I'd know that if I weren't abused. So, and I knew I didn't like it as a kid. I didn't want to play patty cake. I don't think I knew till years later in therapy what all that was about. But at the time, it was horrifying to me. And I just wanted to stay as far away as I could from him, and rightly so, because and then they beat me physically and with belts and slaps and emotional abuse. So the whole childhood, I didn't know any better. I thought that was normal. How do I know that wasn't what was done in all family situations?
Exactly. When we don't know, we don't know.
Yeah.
And I know in your book, you talk about a point where your mother left you in the basement.
My mom left me anywhere. I hated the basement. The basement was like big, scary machines. I'm a blind kid. So everything would be magnified when you're blind, and it's just noise. And I don't know what it is. And I was terrified of the basement. And she left me in the grocery store. She'd just go off shopping and just leave me standing there. Well, if I had sight, I could follow her, or she'd leave me in the car for hours, 90 degrees, like you would a dog. Even you wouldn't do that to a dog. And she'd go off, and I couldn't go get her. I didn't have any cane travel. I didn't know how to follow her. I didn't know where she went. I didn't know anything. Yeah. So a lot of abandonment issues too, as well as the mental, physical, sexual abuse.
Yeah, I mean, it's horrible what they did. And that was actually more commonplace back in, what year was that? 1950s?
53. Yeah, and I think I read somewhere that 90% of blind people who are my age are abused, but don't know it.
Yeah, I mean, how would you know? I mean, you grow up in a bubble, and
Right.
whatever they show you is what your world is. So it's not like you can run off and explore and do whatever you wanted. You were being told what was there and what was reality. And the reason I find your story so powerful is you see clearer. I said this when I first met you. You see clearer without sight than many of us do with sight.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, because I only focus on what is in front of me versus all that stuff that sighted people get distracted by.
Exactly. Now, I want to say a quote. Someone wrote in the chat here, Helene says, Gail Hamilton, you are a strong woman and you are love within life. Thank you for being so strong and appreciate you for being who you have come to be.
Awesome.
I agree.
Yeah.
And now you made it through that. Now, when did you get away from this abuse in your family? What age were you?
Probably when I went off to college. And that's when I decided to start to spread my wings and, fly.
Now, it says that you're also an opera singer. When did you learn opera? In college?
Yes, but you don't start off, at least I didn't start off as an opera singer. I started off with the passion to sing, and I loved to sing. And I took piano lessons all the way through grade school and high school. And then I tried to get out of piano lessons by taking voice lessons. And
I don't want to play piano when I sing.
But piano ended up being my bread and butter because I taught piano for 40 years. Okay. But singing, the first time I opened my mouth and hit the high C, my teacher said, "What are you doing being an alto? You need to be a soprano." And I said, "Oh, okay." So for my very first lesson, I loved singing. So of course I started off with little musicals. I think my first one was, All I Want Is a Room Somewhere from My Fair Lady, and I Forgot the Chocolate. And then all through college, it progressed from light musicals to more and more opera, like oratorials, stuff from Handel's Messiah, some easy arias, Mimi Lavoam, and some of those. And then once I started my master's, that's when I really took off and did operas and all that, and concerts and works with orchestra and song cycles and all the different languages and all that.
Now, what you haven't noticed, I don't know if you've all noticed this, but Gail acts like everything she's doing is, then I finished high school, then I went to college, and I was playing piano, and she's a trained pianist, okay? Oh, and then I started opera because I started singing because I didn't like piano, but then I moved to opera as my master's, and she says it like, oh yeah, that just happens. People with sight don't even do it. They say, I can't do this because I don't have this, or I can't do this because I have this. Get blind. She was blind and abused. And I mean, that you made it through the abuse and through school alone.
Yeah. Yeah. Nobody helped me. My parents didn't know Braille. My teachers didn't know Braille. Nobody could help me with my homework. Yeah, I always laugh when my students go, "Oh, my mommy has to help me with my homework." Really? Nobody helped me, So, yeah. And I had to type it up in Braille and then type it up in print. No computers back in my day. No spell checkers either, I'm here to say. It was hard. It was hard.
Well, that's why I wanted to point that out, because you're like, oh, yeah, and then I did this. The next thing I'm expecting you to say, and then I climbed the Mount Everest and jumped out of an airplane.
Sydney Harbor Bridge.
You did?
I did. Last year.
Really?
Yeah. 75 stories tall.
You jumped off a bridge?
No, I didn't jump off the bridge. I climbed it.
Well, just as crazy. Okay. See? The things you've done in your life is just amazing to me. And that's why you are such an inspiration to me, because so many of us have sight, and because of our sight, it makes us fearful of what's in front of us. We look out and we do, oh, I can't do that because so-and-so looks like this and they do that and I can't. You don't have that. You have it all in your head. So you have to get over yourself and what society tells you can and cannot do. And
society did tell me a lot. They told me I couldn't be a singer. They told me I had to be a math teacher. And I kept going, no, I don't want that. That's not my passion. Or I had to be a computer operator, or I was supposed to be a telephone operator, or a telemarketer, or a piano tuner. And because that's the stereotypes in the United States of being blind. And I went, but that wasn't my passion. I've always followed my passion, always.
I love it, because that's what I always tell people to do, right? When my coaching, I say, you must follow your passion. Stop apologizing for what you're not. Be the best you every day. Be so unapologetically. Now, Gail, I have to go to commercial. But when we come back, we're going to continue to the next level of your story of your life, because we are giving them a high level. If we go deep into everything, We'll be here for about 6 hours, I believe, or maybe a couple of days with the way we talk. And we need to think of a song to sing because I tend to always sing in this show, and we'll have to figure out something we can get into. But we'll be right back after this commercial. If you are watching this live right now or in the replay, please share this because Gail is such an inspiration and people need to watch and hear her now. So stay tuned after this commercial. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You are watching Mental Shift. My name is Michelle Mras. Now, the following TNC live streams are all given to you in Philippine time, and we invite you all to watch the live shows or the replays. In order, U-Turn, TNC The Talk, Awesome Day, The Home Buyer, The Poppet Stories, Mondays at 5:30 p.m., The Big Picture, Mondays through Fridays at 7:15 p.m., The Millennial Voice, Mondays at 8:30 p.m., Foreign Affairs, Tuesdays at 10:30 a.m., HR Hotline, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at noon, Moving on Business, Well Home, Tuesdays at 5:30 p.m., Money and More, Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. Philippines, 5:30 a.m. USA, and then Cybernext. Be sure to check out our page on Facebook or YouTube by searching the hashtag TNC Now. Now, enjoy these inspiring shows because we made them for you. And welcome back. Where's my friend Gail?
I hope she's right here.
She's right here. I have to read your quote from the back of the book because it's cool. I believe my desire to fly must be bigger than my fear of falling. Vision is internal, not external, and is guided by my heart, not my eyes. In order to be free to fly, I must want my dream, feel my dream, and believe that my dream will come true. Most importantly, I must live my dream. I am the creator of my destiny, the composer of my symphony, and I choose to live a life of greatness. Isn't that beautiful?
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful, Gail. Is that what you said at the pageant?
Yep, 35-second philosophy.
35-second philosophy. Mm-hmm. It's powerful because, and that's why you're such an inspiration to me. Things that someone who with sight allows to hold them back, you just busted right through them. You just busted it. And I would love to say, well, was it because you didn't know, so you just kept going? Or did you know and you went, I still want this. This is my passion.
Probably both, but yeah, I wanted it. And because I've gotten masters in music and masters in psychology. I did the operas. I've was a psychotherapist for like 10 years. I've always I love my work. I love what I do, whatever that thing is I choose to be doing at that moment. I love writing my book. I love the house, the building, the pageant, I just do it because I want to inspire people. And I think for me that it's put these things are in my life, maybe to inspire myself that I can do whatever that it is, but it's also inspire others. And I just keep I figured it's God puts them there and I just got to do them.
One foot in front of the other.
I don't know that one. But
Do you
yeah,
know that one?
I do not.
No, it's from Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
Oh, okay.
When he's teaching someone how to walk. But we need to figure out a song that you can sing, or if you want to do a little bit of your opera in there, if you want to do a little bit of one, that would be cool too. But I love singing, and it's a big part of my life too, just like it is yours. And we're both big into, get out of your own way mentality.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we clicked, and that's why we became friends. And with Gail, every time I talk to her, we're usually giggling. And so she's being really serious right now for some reason.
I can be not serious.
You don't have to be serious. This is mental stuff. So here's the thing. Let's ask you the serious question. Where do you believe your biggest mental shift occurred in your life that kept you going?
That kept me going?
Or got you to what you're doing now? Because you're an inspirational speaker.
Yeah.
You're doing things that, I want to do.
You're so funny. I was in therapy one day, and I was pretty much at the end of kicking and screaming all the suicide and relationship and parent stuff out of my head and body. And she said, "What do you want to do?" And I said, in my infinite wisdom, "I'm going to write a book and become famous." No, I'm going to become famous and write a book. That's what I said.
Okay.
And she said, "I see," which is the therapist answer, like, "You're out of your mind," kind of a thing. But, she couldn't say that because she's a therapist. And so how are you going to do that? And then I said, "I don't know. I'm just going to be famous and write a book." I only had one piano student at the time. And my financial life was not real well. And she's like trying to envision how I was going to be famous and then write a book. And so then she said, "What's stopping you from writing the book now?" And I said, well, I came up with a whole bunch of excuses because we all do that. And at the end of the day, she said, I said, I guess I don't have any excuses. And I started writing. But what happened also during that same session is she said, there's a phenomenal other book, which I could name. And she told me to read it, which I did. And not only did I read it, I did everything she said to do in that book. And it totally transformed. It was the last little step I needed, or nudge, to get from the suicidal, the victim self, to the empowered self. And I got it, that what I thinketh, so I createth. And then it was the house and the book, and everything just sort of started snowballing in a positive direction versus the negative direction.
Well, you need to clarify that, because you see the house.
Because what? I'm sorry?
The house.
Oh, I built a Habitat for Humanity house with 20 of my best friends. Yeah, it was on the roof in the crawl space. I did walls, studs. Yeah, you name it.
Now, question, do you hear an echo?
I do not hear an echo, but you tuned out a minute ago, but you came back. So
okay, I'm just making sure I don't interrupt the speech pattern from me, so you can still hear me.
No, you're good.
Oh, good. Thank goodness. No. Now, the next thing I want to ask you is, so many of us are curious about this. When you're blind, how do you navigate, like, as a speaker, you travel, you go into hotel rooms. I mean, even with sight, I'm walking around trying to figure out where everything is. How do you do that? Does someone help you, or do you have to figure it out on your own?
If someone's there, even if someone's there, they don't always help me. I tend to do it myself, because that's the way I'm going to learn where everything is. So I start at the door and I start feeling the walls and how it's all put together, and the bathroom's on the right, and the beds are usually on the same side, and not always. But I feel everything out and go, okay. And then after I get the big picture, then I go, okay, do we have a hairdryer? Do we have a plug? Are the plugs in the lamp? Where are the plugs? And what about that thermostat? Which tends to be the more challenging. And if I can't figure it out, if I'm by myself, then I call the front desk and go, this thermostat is not working for me. How do we come up and help me figure this out?
Now, so philosophical, okay? Life is like walking into a hotel room with your eyes closed.
Mm-hmm.
Do you stand at the door, or do you bravely step forward into the dark, knowing there's something there, you just don't know what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Or let's imagine that your goal is the bed in the room. You've got to get from the hallway to the bed without knowing where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
Do you move or do you not? And see, I think this is where the power comes with Gail being blind. She doesn't get fearful of what's in front. She's afraid, but she still walks anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because she knows her goal is there. She just has to get to it.
Mm-hmm.
Gail, do you run into things? Do you bump? Do you fall sometimes?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think the week that I gave a TEDx speech a couple of weeks ago, that week I ran into like 5 walls. I had like 5 bumps on my head the week I was supposed to give this audition. It's like, really, God? Really? What's this about? What are you saying? Slow down, Gail. Breathe. It was just so funny. But absolutely. And it's how do you let that wall stop you? Or do you run into it and curse it? Do you hit it? Do you go around it? And sometimes you have to ask for help because, like, what if you ding yourself and you start bleeding? It's okay to ask for help.
Yeah. Now, we had a discussion a few weeks ago about you walking down the street and at a crosswalk, and you didn't have a dog.
Mm-hmm.
And you said with the rain, you couldn't hear the cars. You couldn't hear because when you're blind, you said all your other senses get really high. And so you were hearing everything. And then there was construction at the end of the sidewalk. So it kind of messed you up.
Construction, rain messes it all up. Yeah. And what do you do there? Do you, and there's so many things. You can cane and or dog. The dog hopefully will guide you around the construction. The cane, might stop and go, that's just way too noisy for me today. Maybe tomorrow I could handle it, but today that just sounds, it sounds big and scary. And it's like, ooh. So I may choose to go back and then cross the street and then go down the other side of the street. So how many times do we have things, obstacles that are bigger than us and we get scared? It's okay to be scared, but how are you going to handle it at the end of the day? Because at the end of the day, you still have to handle it. So for me, I go across the street and go on the other side. Or I may stand there for a minute, and as I'm thinking, somebody may come up and say, "Can I help you?" It's like, "Oh yeah, please." Inside person wants to help me, great. And some days I may say no. I might say, "So what is that? And is it on the sidewalk or is it not?" And they might go, "Yeah, no, it's on the grass. You're fine." Okay. So it's always okay to ask for clarification from people.
Yes.
I think being blind forces me to put myself out there, to face the fears, to go anyway, because I don't have any choice. If I don't do it, I'm going to stay home and eat worms. It just don't taste very good. I don't like worms.
No. Well, and that's why I wanted to share your analogies, because you've given me so many analogies over the past year about how we use our fears as obstacles. And you're thinking, oh, I can't do that because I can't see what's coming up. Welcome to Gail's world.
Yeah.
Walk anyways. And that I don't know what I want. I can't see it. Stop worrying about seeing it. Feel it in your heart, in your mind. Gail has accomplished things that many of us wish we had because why? Because she said, I want it, I'm going to do it. And then she finds her own way. Now, I have another question then, completely unrelated, I believe. On the cover of the book, you have a dog with you.
Mm-hmm.
Now you don't have a dog with you.
Mm-hmm.
Can you give us some background? Because when I before I knew you, before I met you, I thought people would give a blind person a well-trained dog. They just give it to you and you walk away and the dog takes care of you. You guys know everything. That's not how it
Hmm. Yeah, you have to, well, first you have to apply to the school. You have to get accepted. You have to have a passion, a thing that you do every day. They just don't give you a dog to sit at home and be a pet. It's a $70,000 dog. So they're going to make sure that that's given to a person that wants and needs to use a dog as a mobility device. They're trained for a year and a half, to before they even get to me. And then my training is 2 weeks, 3.5 weeks before I get that. And what was your question? Your question was...
that was my question. That's your answering. That I thought they just gave you a highly trained dog. They said, "Here's your dog. Dog takes care of you." And
no, because then when you get to school, you have to be matched, and they have to take in consideration not only how tall am I, how much do I weigh, how strong am I, how can I pull down that leash really hard or not? Do I have a soft psyche or am I mean kind of a person? What kind of environment do I live in? Do I live in an environment like I do with lots of dogs in an apartment building, or do I live out in the farm? Do I live in the city? Do I travel? What is my lifestyle like? And only when they figure, how fast do I like to walk? Do I like a hard pull on that harness or not? Do I have shoulder issues? Do I not? What's my speed? How hard do I want that dog to pull or not? So they take my psyche, my physical, my environment, all in consideration, along with the dog's, what the dog likes to pull and what it's been exposed to. And that's been 1.5 years with a puppy raiser, and they've been trained. So they all know about that dog, but then they have to match both of us together to make sure that it's a good match from the get-go.
That is not a process.
No, because when the match doesn't work, it's devastating. Totally devastating.
Well, and that's why I wanted to ask, because it's such an ordeal to get a dog and then to be matched with a dog. And then when you see someone who's blind is out there with a dog being trained, or someone who's not, who's just training the dog, and it says, "Do not touch." Mm-hmm. And you explain to me how important it is when it says, "Do not touch, do not touch." Why is that?
Because it's a matter of my safety. And every time a person touches, wiggles their finger, nods, blinks, waves, says, "Hi, puppy," every single time, that undermines the training. Even if that dog's sitting down, it takes away the training one more smidgen. And every time they do that, it takes away from my safety. Because every time the dog gets used to somebody else versus me, then that dog is going to say, "Oh, Michelle, I saw you yesterday on the street. I want to go play with you and see you. I don't care what Gail says." And it takes it away little by little until all of a sudden Gail runs into that bush or the overhanging or trips off the sidewalk, or maybe she'll get hit by the car because the dog, somebody over there is waving at the dog and the dog gets distracted. Or in the case of dog 5 for me, somebody let her dog out on a flexa lead in the middle of 2 very major busy streets and attacked my dog. Not appropriate. Keep your dog under control, always, with or without, if you see somebody with a service dog or not. Dogs should never be on a flexa lead ever. I think they should be banned.
Flexa lead?
Yeah, it's big, long, it's a leash and it expands out like 20 feet. Yeah, retractable. Yeah.
Okay. So you had a 5th dog, but you lost him?
He got attacked by this little dog in the middle of the street. And of course, I can't prove it. I don't know what's going on. All of a sudden there's growling and going around in circles. And I don't know if he's being hurt or they're playing, but whatever it was, we're in the middle of the street. That's my safety. I could have gotten hit by a car because she let her dog on purpose. I mean, she's just taking a walk and putting on the long leash, and she knew she has sight. She can control her dog, but she didn't. And so he had to go back to the CNI. They had to evaluate him. They said he could no longer be a CNI dog, and he's now a police dog. So $70,000 dog. I mean, he's doing his passion. He's now being a police dog. But I had to have him for 6 months and let him go. Oh, that was devastating.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So now you're still waiting for another dog.
Yeah, it's been 2 years and a month for him. I had another dog in March, but I hurt my knee, so I didn't get her. And so that was equally devastating. That was 5 days. So yeah, I'm still waiting. And it might be this fall. I don't know when it's going to be.
So keep that in mind when you see a service dog being trained. Don't mess with him or her, because it's life or death for whoever he's being trained or she's being trained for. And Helene says, Gail Hamilton, you are a rock star.
I like it. Rock star.
Yes, rock star. And she's soaring. Now, that was what I wanted to ask you before we go to our second commercial. What is the meaning behind soaring into greatness? You have such a poetic way of explaining why you called your book Soaring into Greatness.
Well, I love flying. My grandma gave me a little record when I was a kid, Jonathan Livingston Seagull, and I thought, wow, I don't see birds, but I love hearing them. They're just so awesome. And I think how free that must be, because I'm always tethered to a dog, a person, or a cane. And wouldn't it be cool just to be free and fly? Wouldn't that be awesome? And flying, I mean, that's great, but if you could soar, I mean, wouldn't that be more phenomenal? And soar into your greatness, like it just came. I don't want you to soar into mediocrity. It's like aiming for the stars and hit the moon. You don't know until you go for it. And so I did it mainly so I can aspire to be more than grapple into food, as Jonathan would say, on the ground and scrabble for scraps. I want to be free. I want to fly. I want to do all I can do in one life. And I want you to do that too.
Yes. And that is where we are. Because your past does not define you. Whatever your ailment or disability is, whatever it is, it can be a bonus to you. There's a gift in it. Gail does not have sight, but she's found a way to enlighten other people beyond sight. I mean, we've had discussions, Gail and I have laughed about it, where sight is, I think, in many cases, is the disability, because we see and we assess and we make judgment calls. Gail knows her heart, her mind, and her ears. She listens and she evaluates and she keeps going. If you can get an inch of the bravery that this woman shows, you can accomplish so much. And that's what Gail's passion is to help others soar into greatness. Check out her book, Soaring into Greatness, or her blog. You can find it all on her website, soaringintogreatness.com. It's the name of her book, the name of her website. It's everything how you could reach her, Soaring into Greatness. She makes it very simple. And that picture on the book is her, and she won Miss Colorado this year, right?
Yep.
And what's so cool about this picture and her book it's her life, and it's heart-wrenching, and it's beautiful, and it's so encouraging, because you see the end result, the woman that's standing in front of us and sitting in front of us. So it's like, we know she made it through all the trauma, and we know she's still going forward. She just got picked up as a TEDx speaker for October. So she's still going. And she explained to me in the pageant, for those of you who've ever done a pageant or seen a pageant, Gail did it all blind. All of the walking, the pacing, the runway walk, she did it all without seeing where she was going. And she still won. And part of me wants to sing when we come back from our second commercial. So think about it when we go to commercial. What little piece would you like to sing? And hopefully, because your voice is very loud, we don't blow the speakers out. So let's stay tuned, everyone. Please share this live stream while you're watching. And Gail will be right back after this commercials. Welcome back to Mental Shift. My name is Michelle Mras. My guest tonight is Gail Hamilton. Now, I'm about to give you the second half of all of our live stream shows, so please watch the live streams or the replays of Healthline, Couple Goals, with Win Within, Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. Oh, all times are in Philippine time. Market Leader, TNC Express, Thursdays at 11 a.m., Yola, Thursdays at 8:30 p.m., Negosyo at Home, Fridays at noon, Tech U, TNC Marketplace, Fridays and Saturdays at 5:30 p.m., COVID Stories, Saturdays at 10:30 a.m., Realty Realities, Saturdays at 4 p.m., Danny Art Show, After Shift, Women at Work, The Family Business, Usapang Beauty, The Fourth Project, and also catch the TNC specials, which are One Day, TNC Arena, TNC PressCon, and TNC Town Hall, which is on Saturdays at 7 p.m., co-hosted by TNC founders Lloyd and Apple. And the Town Hall is where we talk to you, our valued audience, so join them and talk to them and ask questions. So it's never too late for a mental shift. That is what you're watching right now. And that's every Tuesday and Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time in the United States, Wednesdays and Fridays at 9:30 a.m. in the Philippines. And I thank you so much for joining us tonight. For more upcoming shows, follow the hashtag TNC Now on Facebook and YouTube. And we're back. Hello again. And now Gail is thinking about a song, and I wanted to put her on the spot like I'm about to do. Are you ready? Are you willing to sing for us?
Well, I thought, I could do the pageant one, and I'm sitting there thinking about the words and went, oh my gosh, I haven't sung it in a year, and I don't know if I remember the words, so I don't think I should try that. It totally would be gibberish.
Well, sing whatever you want to sing.
So the only other, it depends if we want to sing together, but, there's some of my signature songs, I have more than one, is Climb Every Mountain. I can do Somewhere with a Rainbow. Those are my two. And then You Raise Me Up. But You Raise Me Up may not lend itself to, without a accompaniment and, that kind of.
No, we can do Somewhere over the rainbow.
Does it work? Way
apart.
There's a dream that I heard of that I once said lullaby.
One day I will a star and wait.
We should practice.
We'll practice it. You'll have to come back on. Because one of the other things that I've noticed from me and Gail is we've both gone through a lot of things in our lives, but we're smiling all the time. And we're also singing all the time. And we laugh at ourselves. It's magic to laugh at yourself. So if you can't laugh at yourself, you need to learn to. Because life is too short to be too serious, right, Gail?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
No, I should have just let you sing by yourself.
What, that one?
Yeah, do it again. By yourself.
Let's see. We'll do the second verse.
Second verse.
Second verse. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and it's low. The dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. When I do it, I have all kinds of stuff up there.
Me too.
Because I can do it. Yeah.
I used to sing that song as a kid and cry.
Oh, yeah.
Because Over the Rainbow is where I wanted to be. I used to be one of the kids.
Absolutely. I want to sit on it or something.
Yeah, I used to chase the end of the rainbow. That was my thing. I always wanted to find the end. And of course, it always moved, but it's what I wanted. I wanted to know what was on the other side. Growing up in the Philippines, and I knew I was an American, but I had never seen America. So to me, America was on the other side of the rainbow. And that was my dream, to get over it.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Yeah. See, I wanted to fly, so I just wanted to sit on it or get above it or something. Of course, I never saw a rainbow, so good luck on that.
We've got people saying, thank you so much. I love that song. And that was, yeah, we have a couple saying, I love this song. Thank you so much for the song. I love to sing it too. Yes, thank you. My audience is musical.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah. I can show you my favorite person singing that, but yeah, it's all right.
Who's your favorite person singing it?
Singing that? Eva Cassidy.
Really?
Yeah. Have you heard it?
No, I'll have to look that up.
Oh my God, it will tear your heart out.
I'm writing it down. Yep. Eva Cassidy.
Eva Cassidy. Lived to be 31 years old. She got some kind of cancer and died at that age. But any of her stuff is, she does gospel, she does Over the Rainbow. She's very eclectic.
Okay, well, I'll check her out because I love that song.
It is phenomenal.
Okay. Now, my next question for you is, if you could go back, I know this is one of those trendy questions that everyone's asking. If you could go back to your younger self, when basically your suicidal self, what would you say that you've learned now, what you've accomplished now? What would you say? Mm-hmm. Because there are a lot of people who are really depressed in this world, especially right now with the COVID thing and all that. And they need to realize that trauma happens and bad things happen to good people, but there's something to be learned or whatever. I mean, what do you have to share about that? And we can talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, well, definitely what you're going through is hard. Definitely you're not alone. Reach out. Get help where you need to reach out. You're going to be okay. You're going to make it through it. And the good news is that when you make it through it, and when you go through the hard the next time in life, it's not going to be as hard as this hard, because thank God that's true. But you're going to make it. There's hope. You're going to be okay. If you're going to do suicide, don't do it. Do not do it. It's not whatever that it is that you're thinking. What the reason that you're thinking about doing that it is not worth it. Don't go tell somebody, go talk to somebody, get help, because you are valuable, you're lovable, you're loving, you're loved. There's a reason you're here. And and you may not know what it is now. I mean, just think, if I'd done suicide, man, my life got a billion times better after I didn't commit suicide. I mean, the last 30 years have been phenomenal. I never would have been able to be me to help you, to be with you. If I had done that, and what a waste! I wouldn't have done my purpose and my passion. So you just haven't found your purpose and passion yet, and it's there. You just have to get rid of all the pain, and that's okay. It's only pain. It'll only hurt for a while or 10 years.
It'll hurt.
And and then it'll be okay. And then you'll still have the memories, but you'll make it through it. And you'll be on the other side of that rainbow. And you'll just go, oh my God, I can't believe I was back there at one point. You're fine. You can do it.
You can do it. And what's beautiful about that is, and I've learned the lesson. I was quite suicidal with my brain injury. And then what I realized was there are no accidents.
Right.
Just because you're not here and you're not, well, I'm not a movie star, or I'm not president, or I'm whatever big thing you think you're not. Not all of us are meant to do something like that. Sometimes you're the best husband or the best, the best dog walker. I don't care what it is that you are the best at. Every one of us plays a part in this world.
Absolutely.
Gail grew up thinking she was worthless and unworthy because that's what her world was showing her. She was being molested. She was being abused. And yes, she got to a point of being suicidal because so much was on her. When she made it through that point, that lowest point, she blossomed into the woman who is doing amazing things. There's a quote that I've seen somewhere on a magnet or something. When you find yourself in hell, don't stop.
Mm.
Right?
One of mine is the deeper you swim, the higher you fly.
Ooh, I like that too.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. It's when you think you're in the worst. There's another analogy where, the diamond guy, he's digging for diamonds and he gives up. He gives up. He can't dig anymore.
Mm.
His fortune is the next pick away.
Yeah.
When you're in your darkest point, you just need to get through it because your treasure's just after that point of giving up. For anybody who's ever given birth to a child, I'm going to give that analogy. When you think you're going to die and your body's going to rip in half, that's when the baby comes out. It's when you cannot take it anymore is when the baby comes out. So it's the same thing with your life. When you think you cannot take another inch of this, you are so done. That's when you are gifted the prize.
Mm-hmm.
So think about things like that when you're going through hard times. I know many, many people out here, a lot of you are suffering. COVID hit a lot of people and hit us hard. And it hit our economy, our pockets, our homes, our families, everything. This is something you need to listen to, learn from, adjust, and see how can you not, if anything bad like this ever happens again, how can you address it? How can you counter it? Like Gail said, how do I get across the street when I can't see? When I can't hear anything because it's so loud and there's something blocking me? How do I get around? Okay, I'm just going to go a whole nother way. It may take a longer way, but it's the safer way. It's the way I needed to go instead of this other way. Right, Gail?
Right, absolutely. There's always a way. Even with COVID, what can you do? There is a way around that obstacle. Besides wearing your mask and taking care of yourself, but there's a way. For me, I'm blogging and doing podcasts, and I just keep talking, and someday that talking is going to do something.
Yeah. You're here on my show with me.
I know. How awesome is that?
And we're talking about your book, and one day we'll be on at a conference together, and you'll be, alongside with me.
That'd be fun. I like that.
I like that too.
Yeah.
So we are wrapping up, and I want to say thank you so much to everyone who joined us live. And I can't name off everybody because I can't see everyone that was there, but thank you so much for joining us live. Please share this live stream, the replay, and realize that you can reach out to Gail at soaringintogreatness.com. You can find her book and you can learn more about her. She blogs all the time and she blogs a lot. So you can read and hear more about her perspective of helping people see, really see. Because I promise you, from my time knowing Gail for this past year, she sees clearer than anyone I've ever met with sight. I'm very proud to have her and call her my friend and to know that she's in my world. And I'm glad that she will be in your world too, if you allow her to be. She is an amazing speaker. She is funny as all get out. She loves to break out in the song. And if you ever put a piano in front of her, she's going to play that too. So thank you so much, Gail, for joining me. And stay on the line and wait for me. I'll say goodbye to you in the backstage. And everyone, just look forward Mental Shift on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time. We always have some amazing inspirational guests. And that's Wednesdays and Fridays in the Philippines at 9:30 a.m. Join us. We have a good time. We learn so much. Be inspired. And follow the TNC hashtag on Facebook and YouTube. Until next week, my name is Michelle Mras, and you are watching Mental Shift. Oh, I forgot something. My new book is out. This. Thank you so much. If you're interested in getting my next book, 13 Steps to Riches, I'm a co-author in this special edition. It's all based on Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. And this is the first volume based on desire. It's desire, all stories about desire. The next book is all stories on faith. And basically what we've done is we've taken the Think and Grow Rich books and spread it out into 13 different books. So please check it up on Amazon right now. It is currently Kindle and it's a discounted price. The hardback comes out on July 15th. It'd be awesome if you would pick that up. Help us get to the bestseller list so we can put bestseller on the copy of the big hardback. Thank you so much. And until next week, this is Mental Shift. My name is Michelle Mras. Look up 13 Steps to Riches on Amazon. It's across the world, so you can find it no matter where you are. Good night, everyone, and thank you.